So you got your big, beautiful HD TV, but now you're wondering, how am I going to set it up with my PS3, my home theater system, my HD DVR? Hi, I'm Ben Meyer for Digital Landing, and today I'm going to set up just such a system and also give you some tips and tricks on how it could work for your particular setup. Okay, before we get started plugging everything in, I want to talk a little bit about the cords and connectors you can use to connect everything on your home theater system. Now, there's a million different ways you can put together a system, and it's mostly contingent on all the inputs and outputs you have on your TV and receiver and other peripherals. Now, the most important thing to remember is you want the best connection possible for any individual input and output you can. But sometimes you run out of inputs and outputs and you have to use the best one that you have available. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few of the cords. You have a coaxial cable here. This is used often for connecting your antenna or cable or satellite. The next step up is composite cables. This is the red, white, and yellow. Usually this is used for an analog signal. It's okay, but you can usually do better on the analog realm. The next step up is a component cable here. This is the red, green, and blue. Now, these can broadcast an HD signal in analog, but it can't go to full HD, to full 1080p. Now, the highest level and the newest are HDMI cords. Maybe you've heard of these. Now, one important thing to remember about HDMI is that it's a digital signal. So it really doesn't matter the quote-unquote quality. If it works, you're going to get that good signal. Now here I have two HDMI cables. A really expensive one that was probably $70 or $80 in a store like Best Buy, and one I got over the internet for about $5. You know what? They work exactly the same. So if you're going to pick up some HDMI cables, and I recommend it for a lot of HD sources, get a cheap one online. If you're not comfortable buying online, find a friend who is. There's no reason you need to spend $70 or $80 for something you can get for $5. So now I'm ready to start plugging everything in. For this particular setup, I have a PlayStation 3, I have an HD DVR and a satellite input, and I have a home theater system that has a built-in DVD player. Okay? Now your system's obviously going to vary, but I'm going to show you just how to work this particular setup. Now, I like to start out easy, and for me, easy means HDMI. Now, the PlayStation 3 can broadcast in full HD and has a built-in Blu-ray player, and so I want to make sure to use an HDMI cable for my PS3 connection so I can get the full benefit. So, first thing, I'm going to plug in the HDMI cable to the HDMI out on the PS3, and then use one of the two inputs on the TV that have an HDMI connection. Just like that. Just that easy. I love HDMI. The second HD component I have is the satellite DVR. Now that, I got my Discovery HD, my HBO and HD, so I want to use the other HDMI input for that DVR. So I plug one end into the HDMI out here, and again to the other HDMI input here. Now I'm up to my home theater. Now this has a DVD system that I want to go out into the TV. Now it has an HDMI out, but unfortunately we don't have any more HDMI inputs. So the next best thing is a component setup, and we're going to use that. It's okay that we don't use HDMI anyway because it's just regular DVD. It's not even in HD, so I think it will be okay. Now I plug one end in for here, the three plugs and the video out, and then I plug the other three into the component in over here. Okay. Now, lastly, I want all these sources to be able to broadcast out through the home theater right here. So I need all of it to flow back into the home theater. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the TV, which has a digital audio out, which will allow me to broadcast out the 7.1 or 5.1 surround sound. So this has an optical out and a coaxial out. I don't have any optical cables. I don't even have what they call a coaxial, but really a coaxial could be a composite or anything, because remember, we're broadcasting out in digital and it will work just fine for digital. So I'm going to plug this yellow guy in the coaxial out, and then there is a coaxial digital in on the home theater over here. Just like that. And it's just that easy. Now all the audio signals are going to come into the TV and then back out into the home theater so we can get that rich, luscious sound. So now that we have all the componentry plugged in, all we need to do is plug in all the power cords again, boot everything up, and we're ready to watch some HD TV on our new set. I'm Ben Meyer for Digital Landing, and we'll see you next time.
Parents must be awfully proud of you. My parents died.